Hey everybody, Jockeying here, and I'm back with the Desert Wolf versus Wirraway campaign. This is War in the Pacific, Admiral's Edition, Scenario 1 with stacking limits. We're in the 28th of October, 1942. Let's see what happens during this turn. Okay, good morning everybody. It's October 28th, 1942. We're with Desert Wolf versus Wirraway. Don't mind me while I drink my coffee. It's 7 a.m. here in California. Okay, so we got some spotting activity here at night. No night bombing at all. Hitting the space bar to get through some of these messages here. Okay, Coast Watchers are reporting various ships in port. Again, the veracity of their claims is suspect at best. Take it with a grain of salt if it's your campaign. Wow, no naval activity at all. Okay, so looks like we're well into the AM phase now. One of his submarines was attacked by a Betty near Japan. Seems a little bit close there for October 1942. Okay, here we go. We got Wirraway doing some sweeps over this hex that he's trying to break through to get to Lanchow. Okay. Now we have some allied sweeps over Burma here. Not much happening so far. Okay, more sweeps coming in. I assume these are preceding some bombing strikes. Lot of sweeping activity through here. Okay, we're expecting quite a bit of that here at Tungi because this is where Desert Wolf appears to be trying to break through in Burma. A lot of sweeps. Now he's sweeping further to the east as well. Okay, a lot of sweeps. And the Japanese were nowhere to be found. Okay, now we have a pretty decent-sized bombing raid coming in here at Lanchow. So they're coming in unescorted, and he can basically do that because there's just no real way for Desert Wolf to operate fighters out of here at this point. There's no supply up here, so they're not going to be able to fly anyway. So he can just come in here and bomb unmolested at his leisure at this part, at least in this part of China. Pretty decent raid here. Some destroyed units. This is mountainous terrain too, so the fact that he's getting any casualties at all is pretty good. Let's see what kind of weather. Heavy cloud. It would have been even worse if it was better weather. Okay, you got a repeat. Alright. Looks like some leftover fragments of this earlier sweep coming in now. Man, somebody's got to tell Wirraway. No, don't. Never mind. I was going to say someone needs to tell Wirraway to just start hitting the units now because the base is completely destroyed. He keeps targeting this base, and there's nothing to hit. It's mutilated. He should just be attacking the ground units here, but again, he may not know that. We're not going to tell him. Some more leftover sweep action here. And some more sallies coming in. Starting to get some diminishing returns on that. And he's still attacking the facilities. Oh, okay, maybe not. This appears to be attacking, maybe the ground now? Alright, that appeared to be a ground attack finally. I think he just needs to go all ground attack there. Okay, here we go with some bombing now. Looks like he's softening up Tanguy again. Oh, here we go with the fragments of the sweeps now coming in. These are the ones that didn't quite make it up the last time on the first run through. These guys are a little late to the party, right? Sweeping over here again, but there's just nothing. Ooh, P-40Ks. I think that's the first time I've seen these guys in action. Okay, that was the AM phase. Wow. A lot of aircraft flying, but not a lot happening. Okay, these appear to be just mostly recon missions right now. There we go. Here's our big boy raids. Unfortunately, there's severe storms in the Hex, so I'm not expecting a lot of damage inflicted. And it really wasn't, as you can see. Basically nothing. The terrain is good for the Japanese and the weather's bad for the Allies, so when you add those two things together, you can bring in 1 million bombers, but you're going to end up with stuff like this. Oh, man. Look at this. I could only dream of having this many bombers to throw at one target. Well, it does not appear that they caused any casualties at all, but that's okay. They are disrupting all these guys. So look at that. Wirraway's definitely splitting up his divisions. Wow. Oh, okay. It's just one division split up, but all these different bombers are attacking it repeatedly. Okay. Okay, get some more coming in. And more. Okay, one Blenheim 4 destroyed by flak. Okay, let's see what altitude they're bombing at. Yep, 5,000 feet. Okay, the B-26s don't get much done either. Okay, Wellingtons come in, do very little. Yeah, the weather's really not helping Desert Wolf this turn. B-26, B-25s don't get anything done either. And the B-24s also. Man, now it's okay. Now we're attacking a little bit further south here. No real casualties. Weather's bad, but it's disruptive to the units on the ground. Back to Tanguy. just endless bombers, man. B-17Fs now coming in. Again, not entirely successful. These guys are a bit further south now, about 2 hexes south of Tungi, just to the east of Tungu. And he's just trying to keep the pressure up here. He's just trying to keep these guys disrupted and slow them down from moving. And now now he's bombing over here just to the east of Tungi. Again, trying to disrupt. I don't think he's trying to destroy the unit. He'll never do that in this terrain. Okay, that's it for the air phase for the day. We're done with those. Okay, let's see if we have... Oh, here we go. We got a bombardment up here now. You should just attack, man. These guys are so damaged. He doesn't know. How could he know? Oh, we're not going to tell him, right? Okay, the Japanese guys here did cause some casualties. I think why he's not attacking is he wants to see this number lower for the defenders, despite the fact that the quality of troops that he has are way better than the allied player, right? But Wirraway is just trying to take it slow, take it safe, and he wants to slowly wear these guys down. But if he only knew, they're already worn down. Okay, another bombardment here at Patong. Again, same thing as up in China. He's just slowly wearing away, being very methodical, because there's no rush to take it, really. But Baton is really hanging on by a thread here. So then, look at that. Another good bombardment result. These destroyed squads never come back. So every time you take one out, that's it. Any day now, these guys are going to be ripe for an attack. Any day. Okay, and we have another bombardment attack here in this hex. Now, this hex is a little rougher. He can bombard and bomb here all day. These guys aren't going anywhere for a while. Yeah, this is not a great result here. This is actually legitimately not so great for Wirraway. I've been showing this hex on my analysis every turn. This one ain't going anywhere. Okay, a Cooktown size 7 airfield, that's always good. That's a big boy airfield. And size 8 is where all the magic always happens. Let's see if we get any reinforcements here. Okay, got a new ship coming in at Derby. Oh. So it looks like a construction regiment is not coming at Chengte because Wirraway owns it. Okay, let's go and look at the analysis. Pretty quiet turn, but you know, I'm sure there's something good to see. Okay, here we're back to look at the turn, analyze it. Let's take a look at losses for today. So aircraft losses. Looks like 4 for the Allies, 1 for the Japanese. One of the Japanese losses is one of these Mavis transport planes. So you got to wonder what he's been using that for. It's the first one he's lost this entire campaign. For the Allies, they lost a Wirraway, a Hudson, and a Blenheim. Looks like the two bombers were lost to flak, and the Wirraway is ops, and also a DC-2 lost to ops. I know that Desert Wolf is running a lot of transport missions, so it's not entirely surprising to see ops losses to Wirraways like that. Okay, looking at the army loss points, very little changed here. Maybe a couple points for the Allies due to the air raids and the bombardments, but really nothing, little changed here. Ship sunk, nothing changed. Score, very little changed. So this term is very little changed, but that's okay because they can't all be crazy bangers, right? All right, so I went to the SIGINT already, and a couple things I want to point out to you. First thing is that the 16th Division is planning for an attack on Cocos Islands, and that's this guy out here, where Desert Wolf has somehow got a lot of his leftover units that were in the Dutch East Indies are kind of dumped off here. And I believe he's using submarines, right? He's using submarines to keep these guys supplied. It's the only way he can really get supply out there, but it's really slow going. I'm sure that Wirraway wants to knock these guys out for the points and also to be able to establish a seaplane base out here, and he can more or less cover most of the Indian Ocean over here from there with like an Emily seaplane. So it appears that he's at least planning for an attack here. Whether or not he's actually going to execute is something else. Okay, the next thing I saw that was interesting was the 4th Raiding Regiment. Where's that at? Is located at Singapore. So the raiding regiments are parachute regiments. So no way to know what he's planning to do with that, but it is interesting to keep tabs of where the Japanese parachute regiments are at, because you never know where they can be employed. He could try to use them for some behind the line stuff or who knows what. So the fact that they're at Singapore, at least for now, tells you that they're not in an immediate position to parachute into somewhere behind the lines and cause disruption. And the last thing I noticed here that was a little bit noteworthy was that the Imperial Guards Division is planning for an attack on Lashio. So obviously Lashio is here. They have tons of units here for both sides. I don't see the Japanese capable of taking Lashio at this time based on what I'm seeing on the map here, but you never know. So that I would assume that the Imperial Guards Division is somewhere in this area, so at least you can have an idea where they're at. It's one of the Japanese better infantry divisions. All right, so I went through the ops report, and quite honestly, I didn't really see anything super noteworthy to even point out to you. A lot of sightings, some supply transport in China and in Burma. Not really much else, you know. Cooktown is at size 7 airfield, which is fine, but it really, at this point, Cooktown's no longer really in play, right? Well, okay, I take that back. It is in play. I keep forgetting this is not my campaign. So the Japanese actually did their job in this one and captured all of Papua and Solomon Islands area to include Port Moresby. So Cooktown will be important when it comes time to retake Port Moresby, because you can now base all sorts of heavy bombers out of here with no real disruption or restrictions. So having these bases built up along the coast here is actually a good thing to help when you're ready to retake Port Moresby and the Solomons area. So yeah, it is important. I keep forgetting this isn't my campaign. All right, so that's all I really have to say about the SIGINT, the ops, and the combat report. There's nothing in the combat report either. So let's just talk about the situation now. We'll start in China, and the two big points of contention that I'm seeing here in China are still in this hex. And here, as I was mentioning during the replay, these Chinese troops are in bad shape. Really bad shape. And I know Wirraway doesn't really know that. He can't see these numbers. We can. But I think if he were to come in here and attack again, he'd probably be pretty successful. They're heavily disrupted. So these big units here are going to fold up if they're attacked, or at least take heavy losses, and he won't. So despite the assault value difference, the Japanese troops are in better shape and in better condition to fight. And again, don't be fooled by AV. It doesn't tell the whole story. I put out a tutorial video on my channel about how to calculate what's in your AV. And I'll tell you right now, these guys don't bring much to the fight, whereas the Japanese have a lot more to use. So I think Wirraway needs to start attacking here. Again, I'm not going to tell him that, and neither should you. But we're third-party observers here, right? The other place that Wirraway is really pressing home is here. And in this hex, it's a different story. The Chinese are having a little bit of supply issue, but not much. They've got some forts and they're building more. They're not disrupted. They're not fatigued, and they have high morale. So this hex is not going to fall anytime soon. I don't think Wirraway can shove enough troops into this hex to ever get through here. So he needs to be looking for other ways around, wherever that is. Because he ain't going to get through here. Also, the terrain. That is a rough forest. And when we look over here, rough forest, of course, WR, times 3 defense value. So you can take that assault value that the Chinese have, right, and multiply it more or less by 3. Good luck getting through there. All right, in Burma, we saw renewed sweeps all up and down through here and more bombing raids on Tongi. The Japanese were completely not present for this one. I don't know where they were. They didn't fly any bombing missions. They didn't fly any sweeps. We don't know what they're doing. I'm really surprised by the lack of air activity by the Japanese in Burma right now. I mean, this is obviously the main front, right? Now, we do know he built up Chiang Mai, which is fine. But there's other air bases around here that aren't really built up the way I think they should be. So I just don't know what Wirraway's plan is in Burma. I don't get it. He's letting the Allies fly crazy missions through here and not really contesting them. So I'll be watching the next couple turns to see if Wirraway changes his plan here, because I just don't. I think he's losing the air war in Burma big time. That's I'll say it that way. You guys may see it differently. Maybe he's got a master plan that I'm not tracking, or maybe he just doesn't have anything he can do here. But I think he's letting DesertWolf get his way through here and not putting up enough of a fight. But nobody asked me, right? All right, so obviously through the rest of the Dutch East Indies, there's nothing to really discuss, right? He has them. There's a couple bases that are still not under Japanese control, but who cares? Because there's nothing they can really do with them anyway. It doesn't even matter if he takes them now, because the points he's going to get for these is so minuscule, it's not even worth the effort to take them. There's just no point. But for all intent and purposes, the Dutch East Indies is fully conquered and captured, and no, these don't matter. In the Philippines and Bataan, Wirraway needs to attack. There's no reason why he shouldn't. He needs to stop bombing the airfield, because it's already completely destroyed, and he should know that by now, because he can see what we see. He can see the runway damage. He can see the service damage. He knows that the damage is not being repaired. So stop bombing the port. Stop bombing the airfield, whatever you're bombing. Target the ground troops, because look at this. They are trashed. These allied troops in Bataan have zero supply. Heavily disrupted. Heavily fatigued. Low morale. A stiff wind will blow these guys over and take them all out. So, Wirraway, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you're not, stop attacking the airfield. Bomb the troops. Attack Bataan. They are jacked. Okay, only a fort size 3. Man, I don't want to conspire against DesertWolf here. He's my homie, but this is ripe for an attack. I think Wirraway's got more than enough here to take these guys out. They are so starved. But hey, you know, he doesn't know that, so we'll let him keep doing what he's doing, but when he attacks, I think they'll fold in one turn. So over here I noticed that this sub was attacked by a Betty last turn. So no damage was taken, but he's dangerously close to the home islands, and I would have to assume by October 1942, Wirraway's got tons of qualified ASW pilots flying missions through here. So this seems kind of dangerous to be running subs this close to the home islands. So it does appear that DesertWolf is sending this guy back to Midway to refuel, which is good. But clear out of here quickly, because those Betties are going to come get him if he doesn't. And it's fully detected, so everybody knows that he's there. All right, let's take a look down here at the Gilbert Islands, and I really see the attack forming here. Okay, we've got more supply coming in. We got more equipment coming in. We got troops loading up over here. And we can see where they're going. So Abamama is where is going to be the jumping off point to the next attack, and it's got to be Tarawa. I mean, that's what I'm seeing anyway. Looks like he also moved some fighters here. These appear to be freshly delivered. I don't recall seeing fighters here last turn. So now we've got P-39s and P-40s flying missions over Abamama, and this is deep within striking range for Tarawa. So if looking at this map here, I'm pretty confident that the next big battle we're going to have in the Gilberts will be retaking Tarawa. And as you can see, the field is the base is completely destroyed. So he's not building any more forts here. These troops are probably starved out. So when it does happen, I don't think it's going to be a hard attack to take out Tarawa. One curious thing that I noticed here is this. Like, what is this? This is a huge task force of S-boats and a Dutch sub. I'm curious where they're going. So here's my guess. I think Desert Wolf does what I do. When he wants to move a bunch of subs to an area, he packages them up in one task force and moves them in bulk to a location. And then once they get there, he'll split them up into separate patrols. So I'm guessing he's looking to do a heavy sub-campaign in this area over here. Probably spread these guys out. So we'll watch this over the following turns. But watch this sub-task force split off into a bunch of different pieces. And he's probably looking to blockade all of this area over here. That's my guess. I can't really explain why these guys would be moving like this otherwise. Alright, so that's the Gilbert Islands. I think the last thing we want to take a look at is over here. So I did see that he was running some recon on Attu. And if we take a look at all this stuff over here, I think he may be loading up some troops, or wanting to load up some troops to move over towards here, either to attack Attu directly or to maybe take these dot bases. But I do believe in this island chain, this is going to be Desert Wolf's next target, and he's definitely got the forces to do it, right? We have all those battleships here. Where'd they go? Whoa! Look at this. This is new. So all these battleships that were previously at ADAC are heading down to Pearl. I have no idea why. Interesting. So it doesn't appear he's leaving these guys around here for a bombardment of Attu. I guess there's no real point, right? It's already destroyed. So he's relocating his battleship task force back to Pearl. I have no idea why. But we'll keep an eye on that to see kind of what his next plans are for these guys. I'm sure they were here for the conquest of the Aleutians. Since the last place to take is basically Attu, there's no real point in keeping them around here any longer. But it is pretty cool to see them moving around still. And there's the repulse. But those guys are probably cold, right? So yeah, we got battleships on the move back to Pearl. And from there, I have no idea. Again, Desert Wolf doesn't tell me anything. So I'm here looking at this like you guys are, trying to discern what his next moves are. So this one I don't get. We also have these escort carriers heading back to Pearl. So no idea what he's doing with these guys. It'll be fun to see what he does, though. Alright, I think that's it for the turn. This one was pretty low-key, but that's cool. Not every turn's going to be a big, huge slugfest, right? There's going to be turns where you just rest, recoup, reorganize, get your troops moved to a new location, and get ready for the next thing. So I think in the next turn or two, or 3 or 4, however many, we're going to see increased action because Desert Wolf and Wirraway are just kind of jockeying for position right now. And I look forward to seeing these next few turns. So as always, thank you for supporting me and my channel. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying this series. I really am. It's so cool to see an allied player this deep into 1942 and what he's doing. And I'm learning a lot, and I'm taking notes from my campaigns. All right, last thing I'm going to show you is this. Check it out. Port Haydn. That's my place. Catch you guys on the next one.